Question: who's in the mood of saving money this week? Back in 30. Hey, this is Jan from New York City, and my channel name is Jan from New York City Saves Money. I'd also like to think that I help save time, energy, effort, and even sometimes sanity. Today, we're going to talk about saving money. Happy Money Monday. Hope that this video finds everybody doing well. And I'd like to thank all the people that recently participated in a recent poll that I had asked you if you prefer me more on camera or the podcast style. Some people were so kind to say they loved it both ways, and I thank you so much. And most of the people, though, the majority of you guys, like me on camera. Well, thank you again. If you are brand new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you are a veteran here, a humble thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you're just dropping by to say hi, hey. And if you're considering subscribing, there's a little red button in the corner. All you have to do is tap that little red button that you see on the bottom right side of your screen. That's how easy it is. Okay, let's get down to brass tacks. We all want to stretch a buck here or there. I don't think anyone doesn't want to do that. We all want to do that. There are ways and there are ways. And you want to know something? The grassroots way to really start begins actually in your actual kitchen. Because in life, we have a lot of flexibility when it comes to managing our food, our grocery store budgets. Okay. One of the first places to look at is actually your refrigerator and your freezer. So depending on where your freezer is located, mine is at the top, starting from the top down. Look inside of your refrigerator and freezer. Open your freezer first. Question: do you have your items categorized? For example, meats in one area, vegetables, frozen vegetables in another area. Other frozen items, maybe perhaps you like to separate like chicken and fish in another area. Do you have your items sectioned off? This is actually crucial because when you are assessing what you need, before you go to the grocery store, which is of absolute great value, taking inventory, taking stock of what you need to get, or knowing what you already have a bit too much for that you do not need to make a duplicate purchase. But to be able to do this at a glance, because your stuff is sectioned off, saves you time, effort, energy, and sanity. Get it? I think that's a very, very helpful tip. So if you have your freezer sectioned off easily, you can much more easily keep track of your freezer's inventory. And if it's not that way, all you have to do is take the stuff out and section it off. That's it. Divide them up into categories. The other thing that I like to do, I like to keep a running list. I'm still old-fashioned and I do work with a pen, okay? But if you don't like to work with a pen and just jot it down in your quick memo, whatever technology way you like to do it, as I'm running low on something, like if I'm working around the kitchen and I notice, oh, I need eggs, running low, write it down. Because we get caught up into like so many things sometimes. Then we get to the grocery store with good intentions and we buy everything else but the thing we really kind of needed the most at the moment. Has that ever happened to any of you? Let me know in the comments section below. It has happened. It has happened. But we can greatly reduce our chances of letting that happen again. Now, sales. This is, to me, a very interesting thing. Sometimes people we've all done this. We see a spectacular looking sale in the weekly circular, for example, at the grocery store. For example, tea. Now, let's pretend you're not that big of a tea drinker and you don't really get that much company, but you keep it around should you need it if you have an upset stomach or on occasion someone shows up. Let's say you possess 100 bags of tea and you have them locked up in your cupboard somewhere. But you see a sale for, wow, 100 tea bags at a really great price. In your case, does it make sense to make that purchase, even though it's quote, end of quote, on sale? In your case, does it actually really need to happen, that purchase? In my opinion, in a case like that, no. Because if you have something that you barely use or rarely use, or just for when company comes and they don't come all that often, I'm just saying this as an example. You have to assess it, whatever the thing is. I know we get caught up with the feeling like, well, I don't want to, miss out on that bargain, that feel. And that's a wonderful feeling if you're actually using the product a lot. For example, a few years ago, a neighbor of mine, we used to have a habit of hitting the grocery store really, really early at a certain time on a Sunday before it got very, very crowded. This was before another store took over. Every 6 weeks, we knew that boneless chicken breasts were on sale. Okay? Every 6 weeks. That was the cycle. And by the way, foods are sold in cycles, and you'll get familiar with the one in your area. But to know about this is very helpful. We didn't know. We would race there. Who's going to get there first? Okay? So we beat each other out. It was like a game we played. You made it first. You made it first, Jen. You made it first, Diane, for example. We'd make a game of it. But my mother was with me, bless her heart. And nothing was like the greatest feeling of, as we used to call it, bagging the deal. Because Mom and I used to utilize lots and lots of boneless chicken breasts and make, cutlets out of them. Or if they sold the thin pack, the one already done up, and they went on sale, whatever. These were items we used, and we used often. So when they went on sale, yippee, I felt like I'm bagging the deal. But for me to overstock on stuff that I really do not use often, to me, is a waste of money that could have been used on something I really, really needed. So, that's very important. And it is true. And you know what? You need to, not you personally, we, all of us, okay? We need to try to assess our habits, but I'll get into that in a minute. Shop your home. You heard this one 100 times, but for a good reason. Shop your home first, okay? Shop before hitting the bricks to the grocery store. Look around you. What can you make Monday that can stretch to Tuesday? Right off the bat, that's two days taken care of. Look around you again. What can you create? What can you cook for Wednesday that might last into Thursday? Now, it doesn't have to be in succession. Spread out the day so you don't feel bored. Or you recycle the components of the meal into something else entirely. Before you know it, if you get 3 major things, times it by 2 days, your week is practically done. And there's nothing wrong with having a breakfast for dinner night or a slap of peanut butter and jelly sandwich dinner type thing day, especially when it's, hot out. There's no big deal. Just have as I call, a nosh. Sometimes you just want maybe toast or bagels or something like that. Dinner does not always have to be this elaborate thing. I think we make much too much of a fuss about everything. Are you in agreement of that? Keep it simple, sweetie. The KISS method. Remember that? KISS. Keep it simple, sweetie. Okay. So shop your home first. You might have the components for pizza. And tonight might be pizza night. I bet you 9 out of 10 watching this have the components for some type of a pizza, even if it's not the traditional tomato sauce mozzarella one. Just saying. You know what I mean? Pick up a rotisserie chicken the next time you do get to the grocery store. You could do so much with a rotisserie chicken. First of all, you're not cooking it, so that's out of the way. You could get them on sale probably after a certain time of the day, after a certain hour. So that's convenient. And then just get creative and figure out the gazillion things you could do. When's the last time you've had a chicken croquette? What's a chicken croquette? Now I'm dating myself. It's sort of like a potato pancake or a potato croquette. Excuse me. Except with chicken, ground chicken in there, ground cooked leftover chicken in there, and you flavor it up and you cook it. Yum! Very inexpensive. Excuse me, please. Did I bring my water? I broke my own rule. My water somewhere else. So sorry. I cannot stand allergy cough, but I get this every year. I get it around now and in September. Okay. Pardon. Make your calendar your best friend. Just live your life as normally. Alter nothing for 1 month. Write down when you went to the grocery store. Write down the date. Circle the date. Then when the month is over, examine your previous month's spending habits. When did you go? How much did you spend? Track it. You can even write the figure down that you paid for at the grocery store on the calendar. That makes life so simple. Ask yourself, gee, did I really have to go? I went 4 times? That means for some people who drive, 4 times the gas, 4 times the effort, 4 times the time, 4 times the sanity. Now, I understand that for many folks, the grocery store is like a social event. I'm not knocking it, okay? Especially when you get a little older and your social activities start declining slightly and you're happy going to the store. And that's totally fine. But try to consolidate your trips. If I'm talking about folks who want to save money, you have all the money in the world. I don't care if you go to the grocery store every day and spend whatever you want. But for someone that has clearly savings goals in mind, there's 3 principles. 1, don't spend. Don't spend. Increase your income. And just do everything you can to alter the way you utilize your existing groceries or anything else that you have, making the maximum with what you do have, okay? So marking your calendar and examining your habits actually are really, really a wise thing to do. So these are just, little tips and tricks, but it is Money Monday. And if we could find a way to save a buck here or there, especially like one of my subscribers, and I've always known this too, but she or he put it so wonderfully, I think it was a she, said she doesn't think of things as saving things. She thinks of things as just don't spend. So stop spending. So if you could find ways to stop spending by utilizing what you do have. Stop spending by not buying so-called sales of things you don't really need anyway, because you want the thrill of bagging the deal. Aha! That's really it. That's like a psychological thing. The thrill of bagging the deal. Does that make sense? Just examine your habits, check out your freezer, and organize as much as you can. Well, thank you so much for being here, because I really do appreciate who? You. Don't forget to come back in the future for some more tips. Have an amazing, fantastic day. Take good care now.